developers. My name is Evan Vishy, and I'm the community manager at Tatum. And today we're bringing you our first edition of our Tatum Ask Me Anything series. We're going to be doing this once a month, so we'll be gathering questions from the community and responding to them. So if you have any questions you want to ask us, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll try and get back to you in the next AMA. Today, we have our very own CEO, Jiri Kobelka. So, hi, Jiri, how are you doing?
Hi, Ivan. Thank you very much. I'm doing great, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you for your time.
Starting off, I wanted to ask a couple of questions that people might have if they're new to Tatum. So, what is Tatum?
Thank you for the question. So Tatum is basically a tool for developers who want to build blockchain apps, and it helps them with it's a kind of framework. So basically, it helps developers to build apps very quickly. It has some level of abstraction, so you don't have to be blockchain expert, and you can build apps like in hours, very powerful apps, and with limited or non-blockchain expertise.
Cool. And what's up with the name? Why Tatum?
Well, originally it actually was Tatum, but when I was registering our domain and everything else, I misheard kind of from my friend. Mm-hmm. He was calling me on phone, and it was Tatum, which means safe, mm-hmm. In Latin.
Sure. Well, sounds good nonetheless. So what is Tatum good for? What would people use it for?
Well, first of all, I think today developers are using a lot of frameworks to build apps. You are using framework for website responsiveness. You are using frameworks for accessing database or databases, and Tatum is kind of framework for building blockchain apps and integrations. So if you are building some app which is connecting to blockchain, Tatum is a tool which will make it super easy and super simple and super fast. And what I would like to highlight also is there are so many features inside which are ready to go. So you can really create quite huge and working apps in hours. Plus, what I would like to highlight is a high level of security, because we have a built-in security features.
So now I wanted to ask some questions that we've gotten from the community. So someone on Telegram has asked us, hi guys, I would like to know if Tatum is ready for production use. Is there any SLA guaranteed?
Yes, Tatum is used for production use. We have over 6,500 developers using Tatum. Mm-hmm. We have hundreds of apps running on Tatum, and some of them are even big companies, and including banks and others. And we provide SLAs. In free plan, we have community support. In community plans, paid plans, we have support, for basically for developers to help them out. Plus, we do support responsivity on when you need something, we will answer. And for enterprises, we have usually custom SLAs like 24/7 and response times and so on.
Here's one we've been getting pretty frequently, actually. So what is a free plan? What can you do with it? And then how does pricing work after that? What's the difference here?
So free plan is basically unlimited plan. The only limitation we have, there are no limitations when it comes to features. You can use whatever you like. You can use testnet, mainnet, blockchain, any of them. The only limitation is that you can do 5 API calls per second. If you need more, you can buy plans starting from $49 a month. where you have about 100 API calls per second. That should be quite enough for most apps. We have apps who are going up to 3,000 API calls per second and more, even 5,000. But for most developers, 100 API calls per second is just enough. What is important to know, we have something called credits, and each month you have some limited amount of credits you can spend. So the higher the plan, the more credits you have. If you run out of credits, what will happen is you will be notified. You're also notified before that, but once you will run out, you have another about 20% you can spend before the platform will lock you off.
Answer. So, I mean, if I understand it correctly, it's that a free plan does everything the other ones do, but you can't implement large scale applications on there because of the API limitation.
Exactly. You have to upgrade then to the paid plan, and you will be just fine.
Sure, perfect. So cool. So here's another one from Telegram. Does Tatum have my private keys?
No.
Great.
We don't.
Okay.
So it's important to understand that the security is key here, and we don't hold your private keys. So we have some features you can send the private key to our API. We always discard these private keys. However, we always recommend to use these features just for, let's say, one-off private keys usage, or just some testing purposes. For serious production, you should always keep private keys on premise and not share them with us.
Sure.
Or anyone else.
Sure. Yeah, got it. So I guess this one's related. Someone's asked if I use Tatum KMS key management system, then in this case, does Tatum have access to my keys?
Okay,
and I'm guessing probably not, but how does that work then if it's, yeah.
What is important to say, it's open source tool. You can run it on premise. It helps you to manage your keys. It helps you to manage your keys in the most secure way possible. And you can run it on premise in a way where you have firewall kind of deny from all mode, which means no one can access your private keys. What we have seen recently, what we have seen a lot is that some developers are storing their private keys in database like MySQL on web server. That's definitely not a good idea. So I would always suggest, if you don't know how to do that, just use Tatum KMS. You will not go wrong.
So now to get a little more technical, a Reddit user has asked us, well, can I use Tatum to develop a wallet with multiple cryptocurrencies?
That's a good question. Yes, we support many blockchains in Tatum. We have all supported currencies in our documentation. I think you can include a link as well.
Yeah, we're gonna put
that. Plus all ERC20 tokens, of course. So whatever you need, it will most likely be supported.
Cool. Great. So yeah, we'll put that link down there. And speaking of tokens, do you have your own token, Tatum?
Yeah. Not yet, but we are planning to do that because we are working on a decentralized version of Tatum, and this version will be powered by the tokens.
Next one, someone's asking, what's the best way to ask for help or support for Tatum?
So if you are running on free plan, the best way is to go to our Reddit, where all of our people are, and they are very happy to help you. We're also trying to answer question on Telegram channel, but it's more likely we'll get answer on Reddit. Also, it's preferable way because we are getting a lot of questions which are repeating.
So Reddit's the place to be.
Yeah, Reddit is the place.
Okay, cool. Great. So yeah, another one. This one is a longer question. So yeah, this person's asking. So I'm creating an exchange, but how can I configure the collection rates? Today, for example, when sending an amount to another address on the same blockchain, all the remaining balance in my wallet is used to pay the fee. So maybe not a specific answer to this, but where are there answers like to this?
First of all, if you are building exchange, we have a very nice guide actually on our website. I think we can share that as well.
Yeah. Docs will be below, so take a look down there.
Okay. And one feature I would like to highlight here is something called off-chain. You can do very, kind of instant fee-less transactions, and in no time. Basically, it's a way how most of exchanges, including Binance, works. And you are always settling on chain, once a while, so you don't have to pay fees. Most of blockchains are not even fast enough to handle operations you will need with even little bit bigger exchange.
So another one from Telegram. You mentioned you're working on a PHP package, right? When do you think it'll be finished? Because our exchange is based on PHP.
So first of all, you can always use direct API access to the platform, but PHP library is or PHP package is on the way. We will hopefully deliver in March. We currently have Go, C#, Java, JavaScript, and yeah, I think it's pretty much it.
So, and then the last one from the community. Yeah, where can I find updates about Tatum?
Oh yeah, we have so many news. Also, we are keeping people up to date about new blockchains we support, about some new features we have. What is the best is to follow us on Twitter, on LinkedIn. I think you can find most of social medias we have on our webpage.
Since this is an Ask Me Anything, we had a few questions from Tatum, from people at Tatum for you, Jiri. So what are the most frequent words that you use in Tatum?
Tatum.
Yes, okay, that's sure.
I think the second one would be blockchain, and developer, API.
Sure.
Again.
Right.
Read the documentation. And I would say the last one is yes, you can.
All right, that's very encouraging and affirmative.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So this one, I don't know. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what was the hardest decision that you have had to make so far?
I think people knows that we actually started Tatum as a crypto bank, and we actually built it. But most of investors we have discussed, if they would be willing to fund the bank, they said, guys, we are more interested in what you have inside, because what you actually built, it's interesting platform for developers. And we had to decide if we want to continue with the bank or just actually realize that we have done something very interesting for developers and make it for everyone, so they don't have to go through the pain of trying and failing when they are building a new blockchain or blockchain app. And we have decided to to basically build Tatum as we know it today. And it was a good decision, but back then, if you realize that we have spent over a year just on MVP, it was a very tough decision.
Yeah, no, that's well, great history. I didn't know that actually, so that's really interesting. But it sounds like it was the right decision. So Cool. So another one is, what have you learned about life from having kids?
A lot.
Mm,
I think the most important thing is, when you feel something is going, in the wrong direction, just start screaming, I guess.
that's
It's always
that's what
works.
I always do. My neighbors love it. So cool. So, well, yeah, that's all the questions I have here. So, thank you very much, Jiri, for taking some time for us.
Ivan, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys. And thank you all developers for using us.
Great, great. And yeah, thanks to everyone for tuning in for our first edition of the Tatum Ask Me Anything series. We hope this has been informative for you, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the next one. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future videos, and have a look below in the description for everything you need to join our Telegram, follow us on social media. We've got the GitHub and docs, or docs.tatum.io link there. And if you have any other questions, please post them in the comments below. So happy coding. See you next time.